In math, we use slope a lot, so there's one letter that we use a lot for slope.
X.
Does anyone remember what letter represents slope?
S. S. Y. Z. B.
M. Slope is represented by M. Anytime we see that lowercase m, we know we're talking about slope.
Lowercase.
Okay, pencil? Oh, a chair? I think it's up by, up front. All right, M is a fraction. That tells us how to move from point to point.
To point A to point B.
A fraction that tells us how to move. Joel?
Yeah.
One away. Last warning. Don't look at it so often if you don't want me to see it. A fraction that tells us how to move from point to point. Okay. If you're not done writing, keep writing. Focus. Ishmael, can you get your notes out? Again? Okay, can you do it on a piece of paper and then you can just tuck it in?
Look at this blood. Look at blood.
And then why don't you sit back there and do it because sitting's having a tough time focusing.
Look at blood over there.
Alright, it tells us two things about this line. Slope tells us about steepness.
Okay. Steepness, okay.
So if you're going tubing and you really, really love tubing in the winter down the hill, do you want a steep hill to go down or a not steep hill?
Obviously steep, come on.
Yeah, if it's not steep, it's going to be long. Is it going to be fast or slow if it's not steep? Slow if it's not steep. If it's steep,
it's going to be fast.
It's going to be fast.
And it's going to be joyful.
Yep.
And if it's vertical,
Bro, sure.
Then you just fall off.
Sure.
Hey, stop.
then it's going to be so fast that you're going to hit the ground and you have a concussion.
Well, it won't be fast. It'll just be a fall.
Sure.
All right, it tells us steepness, and then it also tells us the direction. Which way is this line going?
It's going to the right. That arrow is going to the right.
Hey, shh. Okay, so let's talk about that direction. When we talk about direction on a line, we always read it like how we read English. Which direction do we read English from?
Wait, no, left to right.
Left to right.
Sorry, I'm doing lines.
Okay, when we do direction of a line, we always read it left to right. All right, now one direction, if I have 2 points, Kaylee, Malia, is it could go kind of at a diagonal as it travels left to right. Okay, so as I go left to right here, it's going at a diagonal. How would you describe this going left to right if I start over here and move to the right? Which direction is that going?
Left.
Straight up?
No, at a diagonal.
It's kind of up at a diagonal. So we call this positive. It's going in a positive direction. You can also think about it as like up. If that helps you to write that word there, it's going up, left to right. So if that's positive going up at a diagonal, what would be a negative?
Going down.
Going down at a diagonal, good.
Yeah, we don't like the
There's a
down.
steeper diagonal.
That's a segregation, Mom.
Okay. Okay, if we have our 2 points and it's going down at a diagonal, when I start on the left and go to the right, that would be our negative slope. Yeah. It's fine. Which means down. If you need that extra word in there, down, to tell you it's going downhill. So if you were sledding, would you want to go on a positive slope or a negative slope? You want to go uphill when you're tubing? No, negative. If you're going positive slope, that means you're walking uphill. That sounds awful.
Ooh, I hate walking uphill.
All right, now there's two other options. There's one that just goes from left over to right. There's no diagonal. It's just straight across. What do we call a line that goes straight across like that, left to right? Is that a vertical or a horizontal line? When it goes across? Horizontal, like the horizon. So it's horizontal. Now as I go left to right, is there a change? Am I going up or am I going down?
You're going up. Wait, no, I mean, you're going down.
On the horizontal.
Oh, you're going right.
Why don't you put that away and focus if you're going to answer questions?
I'm focusing.
You're not, because you're just shouting out answers. All right, you're right. There is no up or down. It just goes straight across. So when it's horizontal and it goes straight across, this is a zero slope. There's zero change. There's still movement. It's going left to right. But is there a steepness to it? Is it going up or down?
No.
No, so it's a zero slope. Okay, what's my last type of line that we haven't done yet?
Up and down.
Up and down, straight up and down. What do we call those lines that go straight up and down? This is horizontal. Vertical, good. Those of you that play basketball might know your vertical because that's how high you can jump. All right, now as I move left to right on this line, what's happening? Well, up and down would be like positive. It's going up to the right or down to the right. How is it moving or just straight across to the right? Remember, we're always going left to right. Which point is on the left side? Is it the top point or the bottom point? Which one's on the left side?
Top. The top.
Is there a left and a right?
Yeah.
No, it's just up and down.
They're both half on the
Okay.
left and half on the right.
Right, they're exactly at the same point. And so because there isn't a left and right, we can't do direction because it doesn't go left and right. So we call this undefined, meaning we can't do it. There is no left, there is no right.
Well, there is. Now there's the left side of the line and the right side of the line.
Yep.
Half and half.
Okay. Take a breath for a second. As far as movement goes, we're not moving from the left side to the right side like we can on the other lines here. All right, last part here before we do a couple examples is going to be finding slope. As we find slope, I'm going to use two colored pencils. So if you want to grab two, I'm going to use orange and green. Well, I used orange and green yesterday. Maybe I'll use orange and blue.
Ooh, I want.
Switch it up.
Ooh, let me get some colored pencils.
They're in your bin.
Aw. just like you always are.
You have to use color?
You don't have to, but it might help.
You don't have to, but you have.
Taking a second to do colors is never a bad idea if it's going to help you in the long run.
By the way, I finished this one.
Why you got so many highlighted?
All right. What? In a second. Yeah, not quite yet, but yes. All right. As we do slope.
You're not even behind this table.
Hey, Joel, sit down, please. Okay. Shh. There's a lot happening right now. It's very overwhelming. All right. So as we go from point to point, there are two R words that we use. We use that word that means going up. Does anyone remember what is that word that means going up?
Upward.
It's something over something.
When the sun goes up, what do you guys do?
Top over bottom.
Yeah.
Right?
Rise. Yeah, good. Rise. It's going up. If I tell you to rise out of your seats, what would you do?
Go up.
Go up. Okay, I'm going to use orange for my rise today. And then we're going to go straight over to that point. Now the goal here, when we go straight over, is to be able to count how many spaces we're moving. We can't really count on a diagonal, so that's why we want to use that rise. And then when we move left and right, what would we call that? Run. Do you have a fidget today? Do you have a fidget? Okay, can you play with your fidget? Find that? That'd be a good thing to do. Alright, so for our rise and our run here, rise means to go in which directions? Rise means to go up and down.
Butt in the seat means down.
Okay, run means to go in which direction? Left and right. So to find slope, to find our M, remember, stands for slope. To find that fraction,
Why does it stand for slope?
because we use it so often, we needed something to stand for slope, and the S is hard because it looks kind of like a 5 sometimes. And you can't tell a capital S from a lowercase s. M is really obvious, a lowercase m, uppercase M. Doesn't look like a number.
Out of all the letters you could have chosen, you could have chose Z for all you care.
I didn't. I'm not in charge of math. Alright, so M is going to be what over what?
Rise.
Rise over
Run.
run. Alright, you're going to be getting a sheet of paper. We have 4 examples that we're going to be doing. I'm going to do it on this piece of paper before we glue it in. We will glue it into our notes so that we have your examples. Okay, so as you get your paper, finish up what this board says.
Rise over
Get caught up.
Rise over run. Rise over run. So when are we going to turn these in?
In a little bit. When we're done with
These weren't
notes.
homeworks, right?
What?
These weren't homeworks.
They were homework.
Okay. Oh, is it going to be like, guys, take homework with you? And then you're going to...
Yeah, it's going to fill out the bottom part.
I find that really hard to believe.
Okay, so first thing on number 1, when you get your sheet, is to find some points. So if you don't have your sheet yet, take a look up here. We're going to be looking for some points that are on that line. When we look for points on a line, we're looking for where they have that crisscross, where I can tell exactly what numbers they're at. Okay? So for example, here on this one, I see that there's a point at 2, 2.
Oh.
Does everyone see that point there? From the origin, we go right 2, up 2. Because it goes straight through where those crisscross.
Crisscross.
Can anyone else name another point for me that they see? So that one was 2, 2. Where else might we put a point?
Ooh, you can put
Or
it out.
-1.
Good. 4, -1. So as I follow that line, I'm looking to see where they crisscross. Does this one work?
No,
Does this one?
no,
What about this one?
no.
Nope. So as Dane said, 4, -1. We want to be able to name those points. We want it to be right on those corners. Okay, so now I'm going to think direction. We're going left to right.
Oh, so there's 1 and 3.
So as I go left to right, is this direction going up, down, straight across, or is there no left and right? If I go left to right,
Can't you do 1, 3?
it's going down. So left to right, it's going down. Is that positive, negative, 0, or undefined? Negative. So our direction is negative. Good. So I know right away, before I even find my fraction, what type of number is my slope going to be? Negative. So I can sneak that in right away. Throw a negative sign in there so I don't forget. All right, now we're going to do our rise and our run. So our rise goes up and down. So I'm going to start on my left side. Am I going to go up or down? Down. And then what I'm doing here is I need to count how many straight down do I go. I'm following those lines on the graph. I'm not creating a new line. I'm following that line that's on the graph. How many jumps down did we have to go? 3. And since it was down, what type of number would that be? So -3. So we just followed that straight line down. We're counting how many jumps down it is. 1, 2, 3. And now our run tells us to go over to that next point. And we're counting how many jumps over to that point do we have? 2. Now we want to ask ourselves, can I simplify -3 over 2?
No.
Is there a number I could divide both 3 and 2 by?
Sure.
No. So what's my slope going to be?
3, 2.
-3 over 2.
Nice.
We did it.
Ooh, thanks.
Okay, was there another point we could have used?
No. Maybe like 1, 3.
Not 1, 3. That's not quite there. That'd be over here. What about right at the end of the arrow? Sometimes at the very ends of the arrows we see a point.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Do you see this one right up here?
No. Ooh, it could be 0.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ooh, 0, 5. That.
Now, the cool thing about slope is it's repeated, so I should be able to do the same thing. Down 3 over 2. From that point, can I go down 3? 1, 2, 3. Over 2. Do I end up right back on that line? Yeah. Sometimes when you don't see a point, you got to look at those arrows. All right, we're going to go to number 2. We're going to the side. First, we need to decide the direction. Is this a positive, negative, 0, or undefined?
I'm pretty sure it's undefined.
Is it going straight up and down?
No.
It's not quite vertical, so what is it, Q? Positive. It's going uphill as we go left to right. So our direction is positive. And we know in the end then, a good way for us to check our work is if our slope is negative, something's not quite right. Okay? So next step we have to do is find some points on this line. So I follow that line and I'm looking to see where do they have that crisscross in the back. Good. 1.
Yeah, 1.
1, -3. Good.
And
And then we keep following that line. Where else do we see where there's a point where it crisscrosses in the background?
2, 3. Right?
2, 3 up here?
No. One below.
I think 2, 2.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, so we're working on our rise and our run.
Also, I'm pretty sure the endpoints could be points too.
I don't think so on this one. Not quite. They don't quite go. They have to like touch the corner.
Oh.
All right, so my rise, I'm going to count straight up. So I start at this one on the left, and I'm going up. It's like the sunrise. We're going to count how many boxes did that jump up? How many lines?
Jumped up a lot. Jumped up quite a lot.
Quite a lot. How many?
Like a lot.
2, 3, 4, 5 jumps. So our rise is 5. How much does it run?
It runs a lot.
1, 2, 6.
So 5, 1. 5, 1.
Yeah, 1.
1. So it goes up 5 to the right 1.
Oh wait, so if it goes bottom, so like the rise would be negative, right? So
Yep.
like if you go down,
Then it'd be
orange
negative.
one, right?
Mhm.
Good.
Good.
See, I didn't get that.
All right, can I simplify 5 over 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's 5 divided by 1?
5. 5.
5 divided by 1 is just 5.
You don't really need that.
That's okay.
You don't really need that 1.
Nope. All right, here we go with number 3. So I'm going to switch over to number 3 here. We have 2 more.
What is number 3?
It's 0.
All right, number 3, we got this line going side to side. Where are some points that I have?
Nowhere.
There's points. You could do like -3, +2.
I'm pretty sure every single thing is a point.
Oh yeah, there's points all the way across.
It's 0.
Why is it 0?
Because it's horizontal.
Good, it's horizontal. Is it going up and down at all? No, but is there movement? Is it going left to right? Yeah, it's going left to right, so it's not undefined. We can still go left to right, but how much change are we creating? How much movement up and down is there? 0. So before we even start, what should my slope end up being?
0.
0. But let's just double check. If I do a rise and a run, I'm going from one point to the other. Am I going to rise up at all? No. How many am I going to run? All right. Can I move up and down at all?
No.
No. If I do, I have to go back down. So how much run? What number would represent not going up or down?
0.
0. And how much do I run?
5.
5.
But why do we specifically have to choose these points?
We didn't. We could have chosen any points.
Oh.
Either way, we've gotten 0 divided by something.
But it doesn't matter.
And what's 0 divided by any of the numbers?
0.
0. So it didn't matter on that one.
Oh. So I could have chose any point and then it could have been like a 7.
Yep, 0 over 7 or 0 over 2, 0 over 1.
0 over 0.
Not 0 over 0, because that would mean that we're not moving left or right at all. That would just be a point.
That would just mean we were
Yep.
not even alive.
All right, number 4. Undefined, you can have movement up and down, so you'd have a number for your rise, but not a number for your run. All right, number 4 here. What is my direction of this line as we look at it? Is that positive, negative, 0, or undefined?
Positive.
If I go left to right, is it going up or down as I start on the left and go to the right?
Oh, well, yeah.
Up. So that is positive. All right, I see a point at -3, -4.
At what? 3
-3, -4. So from the origin, left 3, down 4. And let's do the point at 3, -1. So right 3, down 1.
Also, the endpoints can
You have to you follow it along and see where there's like crisscross in the background. If it's not on the crisscross, like this point right here, that one wouldn't work because there's not a line going through it this way. We want it to kind of be on that crisscross. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so rise. That means we're going up and down. And we're going to rise up on this one. How many up does it go? 3.
Also, there's also a negative 1, negative 3.
You're right, there is.
So we could have beat that one also.
We could have, and we're going to talk about why.
Why didn't we use it?
We're going to get there, yeah. And what's my run? How far across am I running from that point? And at this point, I'm following those grid lines.
You have to go 3.
I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, you counted 8, kid?
Hey, you guys, we still got 1 minute.
1 minute? 1 minute ain't nothing.
All right, we'll finish this up tomorrow real quick. Tuck this in your notebook. Try not to lose it. We'll glue it in tomorrow.
Why can't we just glue it in right now?
If you have the homework from yesterday.